Hi, I'm Jacob Gallucci, and I have a story to share with you today. I'm going to be talking about sports, most specifically the Chicago Blackhawks. They're one of my favorite local teams. I would say, for me, they're number three. In order, I would say it's the White Sox, Bears, Blackhawks, um, the Bulls, and the Cubs. But the Blackhawks, they're off to their best start in team history. They're 6-0. And they've looked really good this year so far. I would say this is the best team they've had since the Stanley Cup team back in 2009, 2010. That was a great year, the 09-10 season, and I'm going to talk about it now. It's the most recent team in Chicago to win a championship, and it was a great year. It really was. It was just unbelievable that the Hawks finally won the Stanley Cup after 49 years. I mean, the Hawks were bad for so many years, though. I mean, their former owner Bill Wirtz had a lot to do with it, though. I mean, he was just really cheap, and he let all the good players walk away, and the fans hated him, and understandably so. And the stadium was like right before he died. The stadium was like usually at least half empty, and there were some games where they'd end up with probably 6 to 8 thousand people in the stands. That's it. There was nobody at the games. I mean, the fans were fed up with the losing and just a poor play, and there was just a noticeable lack of talent. And another reason why fans were angry was because the home games were not on TV. I mean, it was just really stupid not to have the home games on TV, and the people in Chicago really didn't care about the Blackhawks anymore. I mean, they were basically an afterthought. When I was younger, I really didn't care about the Hawks either, I'll be honest. There was a brief moment I actually cared more about the Chicago Wolves. I mean, the Wolves were a better team, and even though they were a minor league hockey team, they outdrew the Hawks for a short time. Yes, they did. And it was just... This was as recently as, like, 8 years ago. I mean, God. Bill Wirtz dying was... I mean, you hate to see people die, but it was the best thing that could have ever happened to that franchise. I mean, the Hawks needed to get into the 21st century, and since Rocky Wirtz took over for his dad, he's been really good. Every game's on TV now, and the team's really good, and the fans care again. I mean, the stadium's always packed, and it's exciting. It really is. 2010 was a great year, and I remember we beat Nashville in the first round. That was a really good series, and they gave us a fit, but we beat them in 6 games, and in the second round we beat Vancouver in 6 games, and Vancouver's so dirty. I don't like them. The only team I might dislike more are the Detroit Red Wings, but I don't like Vancouver at all. I was glad they lost that series, and the conference finals against San Jose, we swept them in 4 games. I mean, we just ran over them, and then in the Stanley Cup Finals, we beat the Philadelphia Flyers 4 games to 2, and it was amazing. I mean, everyone was celebrating in the parade downtown. I think, was it the next day, or it was shortly after that? The parade downtown was amazing. It was just crazy, and it was really exciting, and I've got a good feeling. I think they could win it again this year. I really do. I think they'll be the next Chicago team to win a championship. The Bears, it's hard to say at this point because they just hired their new coach, Mark Trestman, and it's great the Bears finally hired an offensive-minded coach, but it's hard to say at this point what's going to happen because the defense is old, and the offense will be better for sure, but the defense will be relatively weak, I think, because they're older, and well, the NFL is more of an offensive-minded game now anyway, so we'll see what happens, and I think the Bears will be the second team to win, maybe. The Bulls have a shot, though. Not this year, though, because Derrick Rose has been out, and when he comes back, it'll take him a little while to get acclimated, and I don't know how they're going to get past Miami. It's going to be hard. I hate Miami, but the Bulls could beat them, but I'm not betting on it. Not this year. I think next year the Bulls will beat them, though. The Bulls, I think, could win the finals next year. They've got a shot. The Cubs, I don't see them doing anything at least until 2015, maybe 2016. And the White Sox, I think they'll finish third because in the 2013 season, I think they'll finish third behind Detroit and Kansas City. Yes, Kansas City. Sox are good, but not great, and they're going to have a hard time scoring runs without AJ Pierzynski. I mean, they still have Konerko, but he's older. Dunn's inconsistent. All he really does is hit home runs, and he strikes out way too much. And anyway, I'm going back to the Blackhawks, but it was great that they won in 2010, and it's weird because prior to the 08-09 season, between the 97-98 and the 07-08 season, the Blackhawks only made the playoffs once in 10 seasons. Remember, the 04-05 season was canceled because of the lockout, but in 10 years they made the playoffs once, and that's really bad. I mean, it's embarrassing. But they're relevant again, and it's just exciting to see a really good team in Chicago, and I hope they do well this year, and I'd love to see them win another championship. It would be great, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with 2 new videos, and until then, take care.